Ever since starting this channel up again, the main goal has to make videos on two of my favorite franchises, Dragon Quest and Sonic the Hedgehog. It's been the MO ever since, though I haven't really made a video talking about these two videos together in one video, mostly because there's really not much to discuss. I try my best to discuss them when the comparison's necessary, but that's really about it. But I mostly got this video suggestion thanks to this guy right here, this man in a green jacket with this nice hairdo, and I happen to make videos for. Definitely nothing in common between me and him, I guess. But anyway, we're getting off topic. We're talking about 5 things we can find in both Dragon Quest and Sonic the Hedgehog, and these can range from locales, storytelling, character arcs, or things in real life. So, let's dive right in. Casinos have been a staple in both franchises. Sonic introduced casinos in Sonic 2 was Casino Night Zone, while Dragon Quest introduced forms of gambling in Dragon Quest 2, then had a full-on casino in Dragon Quest 4. Though in regards to how they've utilized this theme, it does differ. For one, Sonic uses the casino aesthetic as really much an aesthetic. There's really not much gambling elements in Sonic games other than slot machines, while Dragon Quest has all kinds of gambling elements from slot machines, bingo, horse betting races, from slimes, poker, roulette, the list does go on. And plus, casino levels in Sonic games is really just a level you go through from level to level, while in Dragon Quest, they're entirely optional to mess around with. Though regardless of how they implement this theme, it's cool to see both franchises do have casinos. Yeah, follow me on this. Chaos from Sonic Adventure and Raptorn have similarities in terms of their story arcs. As for one, both of these characters were sealed away for many years. Chaos was sealed in the Master Emerald, while Raptorn was sealed away into a scepter by 7 sages. And speaking of those 7 things, both characters need 7 things to reach their full form. Chaos needs 7 Chaos Realms to become perfect Chaos, while Raptorn needs to
Such a pity.
kill people to break free from his seal and reach his full power. And to further elaborate on that, he just needs to kill 7 heirs of the sages just so he can break free from the seal. And third, both characters managed to get their way. Chaos manages to get all 7 Chaos Emeralds to become perfect Chaos, and Raptorn manages to kill the 7 heirs and break free from the seal. And finally, which is the most interesting to me, both characters lose by the same thing that gave them their powers. Chaos lost to Sonic due to the fact that Sonic used the positive energy of the Chaos Emeralds to become Supersonic, while in Raptorn's case, the heroes prey upon the 7 sages to weaken Raptorn. But even then, there are differences in terms of these character arcs and just the characters in general. Well, for one, Chaos was broken from the seal pretty early in Sonic Adventure, while in Dragon Quest VIII, Raptorn's stuck in the seal in the scepter this whole game. He uses possession to control people to give away wands. And of course, Chaos doesn't have any kind of powers to possess people. And the other difference is that Raptorn is relatively an evil person, with the sole purpose of ruling both the Dark World and the Light World, while Chaos is more so a character that turned the villain because of unfortunate events that happened. Particularly, this whole thing was the Echidna tribe. And the final difference is that Raptorn does talk throughout Dragon Quest VIII, while Chaos doesn't talk at all. And the funny thing to me is that, in regards to Raptorn, is that when he breaks free from the seal, he becomes this little chud form with this hilarious ass voice, which I always thought to myself, would it be funny if Chaos had that same kind of voice?
I've been waiting for you meddlesome fools! Your pitiful attempts to stop me have been in vain!
Though it's kinda cool to see these similarities. That you didn't see this one coming, outside from Super Smash Bros., both franchises have crossed over with Mario in the past. Sonic, of course, has crossed over with Mario in the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, a set of sports minigames based on things that happened in the Olympics. And it's been lasting for 10 games overall, while for Dragon Quest, the one, of course, is the Itadaki Street games, a series of games that was also created by the Dragon Quest creator, Yuji Horii. And he's been working on this series in the 80s, though it didn't start out with this crossover idea of 2 franchises going together. It was kind of just its own series with its own set of characters you play as. The crossover thing didn't happen until the mid-2000s with Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy, and then later was Dragon Quest and Mario starting with Itadaki Street DS, and then later was Itadaki Street Wii, which was the first time ever Itadaki Street got localized here in the West under the name Fortune Street. And unlike the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games where those are just mini-games, Itadaki Street is basically a Monopoly clone with stocks, which definitely puts a lot of layers into how much different the game is. And on top of that, unlike Monopoly, there's different board layouts, which definitely gives a different strategy into playing through each board. These are really fun games, and I actually do play this pretty consistently with a group of friends. but it's basically cool to see the Italian plumber has crossed over with both of these two franchises. I almost forgot that Dragon Quest also crossed over with Mario again in Mario Sports Mix. There was just a slime character and there's no other Dragon Quest things in Mario Sports Mix, so whatever. Back with another character study, and this time is with Shadow the Hedgehog, a character who was introduced in Sonic Adventure 2, but has become a mainstay ever since, and Sorrow, a villain from Dragon Quest 4. But what exactly is similar between the two, rather than on face value of them being edgelords? And yeah, a while back I did make a poll asking what you guys think was the bigger edgelord, and most of you guys said Shadow, which I'm not gonna argue with that. I kinda agree with that, in a sense, though I'm getting off topic. So let's go through this thing in a whole list. They both have a hatred for humanity, they both had a female companion, and them dying at the end, and someone close to them manipulating them, and finally both of them dying at the end of their respective games, though that's a little bit of an asterisk right there, which we'll get into that when we can. So that's a lot of things to go by, so let's go through it one by one. For the hatred for humanity, Shadow grew a hatred for humanity due to the unfortunate raid on the Space Colony Ark, which was the place he lived in for many years. While Sorrow, he never really liked humans in the first place, but he definitely grew to hate them because he found them to be very greedy. And as for the female companion, Shadow has Maria, which happens to be his creator's daughter, Gerald Robotnik, while for Sorrow, he had Rose, which is an elf girl he managed to save from a human who wanted to take her hostage because she can cry out ruby tears, and that of course is going to make a lot of money right there. And as for the characters' deaths, Maria was killed during the raid on the Ark, while Rose was killed off-screen and was told to Sorrow that humans went out and killed her. And that kind of segues into my next point about manipulation, because the main reason why humans went out and killed Rose was because Armon was the one that commanded. He went behind Sorrow's back just so he could further the path of evil for Sorrow. And as for Shadow, Gerald Robotnik, after the raid on the Ark, decided to manipulate Shadow's memory so he could misremember what Maria's final words were to Shadow. Pretty messed up when you think about it. And as for them both dying at the end of the game, which definitely talking a lot about death, am I? Shadow at the end dies a hero because he realizes his mistakes, remembers what Maria's final words were to Shadow, and fights for good, and ultimately decides to sacrifice himself at the end of the game, though he does come back in Sonic Heroes. As for Sorrow, unfortunately for him, because he used the Secrets of Evolution to transform this beast right here, he's completely lost it and definitely is not going to fight for good, so the heroes in Dragon Quest IV deal the final blow to Sorrow. And that does leave us to the differences, does it? Because the one thing I just mentioned, Shadow dies a hero while Sorrow dies a villain. And secondly, in regards to the female companion, the relationship is quite different. When you look at Shadow and Maria's relationship, it's definitely more of a sibling bond when you think about it. While for Sorrow and Rose, it's definitely more a romantic relationship and they don't keep the subtext subtle. And finally, in regards to manipulation, Armor was very much the one who orchestrated the death of Rose, while Gerald Robotnik had no involvement with the raid on the Space Colony Ark. But even then, it's cool to see these similarities from a game that came out in 1990 and another one that came out in 2001. Actually, hold on a second before we move on. I would be remiss if I didn't mention this particular point because it adds in new similarities and differences. Dragon Quest IV did get a remake in 2001 and added in a postgame as well. So what exactly does this postgame include? Essentially, this is a way to revive Rose and have her get Sorrow back to his senses and have him fight for good. So if you count in the postgame and you consider postgame canon for Dragon Quest IV, it basically means that both characters end up being heroes, but that definitely does change a lot of things. Both of them end up being good, Sorrow never dies a villain, but even then, Sorrow is basically saved while Shadow still dies at the end of Sonic Adventure 2, and Rose is brought back to life, and I doubt if Sonic Adventure 2 ever gets a remake, they'll bring her back to life in some kind of post-game. This final one is a funny one to me because I never thought about including this in until it actually happened. And this basically pertains to Sonic creator Yuji Naka because he now has involvement with both franchises now. How about that? Of course, he created Sonic the Hedgehog, but what exactly is his correlations to the Dragon Quest franchise? Well, to bring some context in, as we all know already, Yuji Naka left Sega to form Probe. And during his time as an indie developer, he didn't really do much other than create Rodea the Sky Soldier, and eventually joined up with Square Enix in 2018 to make the one-hit wonder Battlefield Wonderworld. So, amazing game, I know you guys have played it, but during his time when working on Battlefield Wonderworld, turns out he's been doing some pesky insider trading, and there's been 2 instances where he's done this. And one of them in particular, he's now been indicted for. But the one we're interested in is in the mobile game Dragon Quest Tact, where he performed insider trading by buying shares into the developers that were working on this particular mobile game. I mean, you can't make this shit up. It's crazy to think that this one thing that Yuji Naka did gives us more correlations between Dragon Quest and Sonic because this man decided to do some pesky insider trading. It's way too funny to me. But that's life right there. So those are 5 similarities between Sonic and Dragon Quest. It's cool to see that 2 of my favorite franchises have some things in common that wouldn't be seen as reaching in a sense. Though I did kind of cheat with Mario and Yuji Naka, but that's beside the point. Even then, I do like finding things at face value that wouldn't necessarily have things in common, actually have some commonalities when you look through the deeper trenches. It's always something I like to do. I always like writing this kind of stuff up. But what about you guys? Do you guys agree with my assessments on what I found to be similarities? Or you found your own similarities, or you find that there's no similarities at all? Either or is cool with me. Comment down below, because I like interacting with you guys. And don't forget to leave a like as well. And if you want to see more videos pertaining to Sonic and Dragon Quest, check out these videos right here. Hope to see you guys on the next one. Take care.